Good afternoon once again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Quantix Fireside Chat 101, where we bring you industry leaders who are not only driven by title, but by their actions and how exactly they spearhead large enterprises on the whole. Today, I have a very exciting, well known industry name with me, Mr. Salabh Saxena. He is the CEO of Bharat Financial Inclusions, which is a 100% subsidiary of IndusInd Bank. Mr. Saxena has over 24 years plus experience in the consumer banking and the life insurance industry. He's an exceptional strategic thinker with a clear focus towards achievements of organization goals. Uh, Warm welcome to you, Mr. Saxena. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. Pleasure is all mine.
Great. So I would like to start off today's discussion with a very light question to you, starting off with, if there's one person you could name that has had a tremendous impact on you as a leader, maybe someone who's been a mentor to you, and why this person has had such kind of an impact on your life.
So, look, I've been now working for almost 24 years, 25 years. I've met during the journey, many exceptional leaders.
Right.
However, there's one individual who really stands out. He is currently associated with the organization that I work for. He is the executive vice chairman. His name is M.R. Rao.
Okay.
I know him for almost 2 decades, and on and off, I do keep on. Even while I was not working with him, I used to consult him.
Right.
The reason why he's kind of a natural choice for the a mentor or a idol, whatever you would want to say,
Correct.
is because he is a perfect mix of he has great domain knowledge.
All right.
Number one. Number two, he is extremely empathetic to the surroundings and the environment that we operate in.
Okay.
Number two. Number three, he always gives honest advice. You might like it or not.
Right.
Number four, most importantly, when it comes to the crunch, he doesn't hesitate to call a spade a spade. So those are the reasons that I do feel, make a complete manager. And he's one person who you can really reach out to whenever you want an advice, or you are in a situation where you would want, somebody else to kind of give you an alternate opinion. So
Right.
that's the reason why I think, he really fits the description or the slot to which you asked him.
Superb. And it's really nice to know that there is someone like this who really is very open, being at the level that he is. It's always nice to have someone to look over and, look over your shoulders, specifically. A leader that has no title actually, but drives the organization on the whole exceptionally well. So moving on to my next question, talking about leadership and going a little more in depth into it. What is that one characteristic that you believe that every leader should possess?
See, every leader should, or it applies to everyone, but more so for a leader. He has to be an exceptional learner.
Okay.
One of the challenges when you rise up the hierarchy is that you have very few people around giving you a true opinion.
Correct.
Most of the times, they kind of fall in line with what you want, and they would tend. You have, I don't want to use the word yes men, but then you have a lot of people kind of, falling in line with what you want, what you desire.
Right.
The only way to overcome this is you have to keep your eyes and ears open.
Okay.
You have to be learning all the times. Just because you have a title does not mean you know everything. And learning, you can learn from anyone, from the junior most person to even an office boy for that matter.
Right.
So my single point, my view is that you as a leader, if you want to succeed in life, you have to be an exceptional learner. Keep your ears open, keep your eyes open, and look at the surroundings. You will have all the solutions.
Superb. So learning actually, as we all know, it never stops. Every time, right from where you are to how old you keep growing, you will always keep learning something or the other. So
They say learning is the only constant. So
absolutely,
that's what it is.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more to you. So moving forward, so I am very curious to know, since you are the epic leader of such a huge enterprise and an organization, where do the great ideas come from in your organization? Is it always the
So
boardroom?
it's no. In fact, it is on the contrary. And this connects to the previous question which you asked.
Right.
What is the quality that a leader should have? In my view, and I mean it in all honesty, the greatest of ideas come from the people who interact with the customer, which is your first line, is your front line.
Correct.
First line, front line, FOS, call whatever you might. But the fact is, if the more and more you are on the ground, the more and more you speak to our people, to the people on the ground, more and more you interact with the customers. That is where you will get all the ideas from. That's where you will get all the inspiration from. As I said, learning has no limitation. As leaders, I would strongly recommend that people should spend at least half of their time out in the field interacting with them.
Correct.
So physically you might not be that easy, but at least speak to them. Speak to 10 people every single day.
Correct.
Across hierarchies.
Correct.
If you communicate more, you will get to know more of what is happening, and you will rely less and less on hearsay or from borrowed opinions.
Right.
Firsthand need to know, and the no better person than number one, call up, speak to the customer.
Right.
And number two, speak to your front line. That's that the best of ideas come from there. Boardrooms, etc. Yes, you can refine on the ideas for sure.
Right.
But in my personal experience, I think that's where the value lies.
Absolutely, and I couldn't agree more, to you, because we've spoken to so many leaders, and they themselves have said that it's the frontline workers that actually are speaking to our customers. They are the ones who actually get noticed, or they're the ones who come to know exactly what are the challenges that the customers are facing, and then they are the ones who channel that particular message right up the hierarchy. So absolutely, very well said. So we'll switch a little from the particular topic towards in the current ongoing situation that we've had. It's been a very bumpy ride for a lot of enterprises. The life insurance segment also on the whole has seen many changes. But towards you particularly, because you come from a very diversified vertical from the consumer banking as well as the life insurance particular segment. So I wanted to know personally, what are the challenges that you faced, in this particular pandemic, and how did you overcome them on the whole?
See, professionally, we are the largest. I represent Bharat Financial Inclusion Limited, which is one of the largest microfinance companies. We have a huge distribution, 2,000 branches, 8 million customers, so on and so forth.
Right.
The biggest challenge that we had was connecting to the customer.
Right.
It's never ever happened, in the recent memory that you lose complete touch with the customer, except for a phone call. I mean, it has its own limitations, but a face-to-face meeting with the customer, for a long period of almost about 2 months, where it was a complete, lockdown, and then slowly things started opening up. Even now things are not very normal. But in my view, that was the biggest challenge. When you lose the customer connect, that's where you sort of start getting worried as to how's the customer, how is the customer doing. The economic activity across the country was at a standstill. So how are they doing, their well-being, your staff's well-being, so on and so forth. So this pandemic presented us a scenario where you couldn't physically meet either your staff or your customer. You were very worried about them because their well-being is your well-being. These were the challenges that over a period of time situation has eased. And another 3 months, I think we should be back to normal. But those were the challenges that we overcame in our own way. But then that was one thing that kept us awake, through the days, when this thing really progressed.
Okay, superb. And lastly, before we end, I would want to know, what do you forecast for your industry for the coming year of 2021? How do you see the industry shaping up on the whole?
So see, the situation every single day is getting better. When you look at the operating environment across the country, every single day there's things are improving for the better. And that is when, in my view, and it's an assessment, it is, I do feel that the industry, I don't speak for my company, but for the industry, a 20-25% growth should be within reach. Obviously, every company operates a different model, different distribution, etc. But we have a clear 6 months starting October until March of 21, where one can really adjust to the changed environment, if I may say so.
Okay.
That should happen. I mean, I'm very positive about it.
All right. Superb. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, firstly, Mr. Saxena, for joining us for this quick 10-minute fireside chat and sharing your valuable inputs with us. It's been a pleasure having you with us. Thank you so much.
Very much. Thank you very much. Pleasure was all mine. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.